of Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. I'm proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. This is more than just a podcast. No, I don't say that. Someone else says that.
Yes, you do.
And you said
Podcast.
podcast. Oh, see, I'm forgetting.
I don't know. I didn't hear you say podcast. So
I did say podcast, but I sort of paused.
there you go.
Anyway,
dramatic effect.
the kids are back in town,
Whee.
and the 46-point target is back on. Yay!
Whee.
We'll see.
It is.
Back by popular demand.
Popular
Bananas.
banana.
Don't mention bananas. Is John Bucci? Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at home talking to yous, doing a podcast.
Canning Townland, where are you? What are you doing?
Doing a podcast and painting at the same time, and
Let
I've
it
virtually finished
be,
it.
let it be, let it be, let it be.
Oh yeah, we'll have no telling people stuff about what happened this week either, Sean. I've
Okay.
got to tell you that off air.
Okay. And last but not least, this could be the best podcast ever because it's Nigel who's lost his voice. Nigel, where are you? What are you doing?
In my shed.
Excellent, excellent.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, let's start with you then. City! Do you know what? Right? I was listening back to last week's podcast, and Nigel said the prediction was 3-0, 20% possession, and 3 shots on target.
Yeah.
He got 2 of them right.
Yeah, tell you what, it could have been 3-0.
Should have been.
A wise one.
It was 3-0.
We did
Oh, I
lose
thought you were
3-0.
talking about the Man United game.
No, we're talking about Man City. So last week's we gave predictions
okay.
for City as well. He said 3-0
Yeah.
loss, 3 shots on target, and I think you said 20% possession.
20% possession.
Huh?
Yeah, I said 20% possession.
And what was it? Do you know? Did you look?
Was it not 22 or something stupid like
It
that?
was. I think it was about 27.
Oh, right.
Even
Well,
30 maybe.
Wow. We did
That's-
play well then.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, this while we start with you. This when I look
No,
up the stats.
it was Meatloaf, wasn't it? Who said that?
Yeah, it was. Linwell West Ham, right? Build us up with hope. 0-0 at half time. Thinking, oh, we could hold on for a draw. Where did it all go wrong, Nigel?
Ogbonna dropping too deep. I find Nathan Ake a strange one because when he was at Bournemouth, I never thought he was that great. I thought he looked like a Bournemouth type defender. I think they had him on loan first. I don't know if it was from Chelsea or something.
It
like
was
that,
from
but-
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, but I never see anything in him that I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind him at West Ham. He was just a solid, average Premier League defender. And then he went to Man City, and I'm thinking, well, what do they see what I see? Obviously, they see a lot more, because to be fair to him, he's done well at City, and he's getting a run of games. But I think it's easy to be a defender when you've got the superstars in front of you. So, I suppose. But Ogbonna dropping deep. I think there was a shot at Creswell. He was making the line with his hand, as if to point out, look, this is where it's gone wrong.
What changed from the first half to the second half?
Oh, I just think it was that. I think the thing is, when it's 0-0, we got something to fight for.
Yeah.
And it almost as if it was a sigh of resignation when they scored.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, that's that then.
And 49.
Yeah, well,
And of course, Haaland had to make Of course, when I think he scored his first Premier League goal against West Ham. Is that right?
I believe he did. Yeah,
And of course, he had to make history to score the winning goal that makes a
51st.
new record, isn't it?
Yes,
Um,
51st.
which beats,
Well, it depends when you think records start.
well, for the
Because,
Premier League.
well, yeah, because obviously in actual football terms, he's still got a way to go to
But
break
he
the
was
record.
Andy, was it Andy Cole
Yeah, Alan Shearer.
and
Yeah,
Shearer? Alan Shearer
yeah.
at Blackburn, wasn't it?
But that's Premier League goals. So
Premier League
they
goals,
had
yeah.
the record on 34, I believe.
But he's
So
also beat Vic Watson now. Is he at 51 now?
no, yeah. So Watson scored in 28-29, 50 goals for West Ham, which was by far and away. He never scored generally, I think, over 30. He was a regular. He played for West Ham for 15 seasons and regularly got 25 to 30 odd goals. Never been over 40. And then that 28-29 season hit 50, which was 42 in the league, 8 in the FA Cup. That's all they played back then. And that 8 in the FA Cup came in 4 games. Um, but obviously, at the same era of Vic Watson was the great Dixie Dean, who sits on top of the record with 60 goals in one season. I think was um, mid-20s. I think that season. I thought, it might have been 1930. There's another player I think that was level with Watson who went by the name Pongo Waring of Arsenal. I think he got 50. And bearing in mind, this is when they only had the league and the FA Cup. That's the only tournaments they had. No Europe, no League Cup.
There was another record
No,
by Phil Foden. Do you know what it was?
no, I don't.
Phil Foden, when he scored the third goal in the 85, meant that Pep Guardiola reached 1,000 goals since he joined Man City. 1,000 goals. Man
Yeah,
City's goals have been scored. It's incredible.
that is in a short period of
Fastest
time.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah, but how much money has he spent per goal?
404 fixtures, an average of 2.47 goals a match.
Yeah, but how much money have they spent to do that? It's easy when you got money.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
if
that's
if you look
so
at if you look at Clive
go to
Allen,
Price of Football. It's not a money
yeah,
podcast.
but if you
Who
go
who were the
if
who was the last person to do it before that?
so if you look at Clive Allen got 49 goals in a season for Spurs in what was that the year they lost the cup final 87,
87.
86, 87. So um and I don't think anyone's got near that
Yeah.
since then. But he got a lot of cup goals. He got a lot in the League Cup. Um and he got a lot in the FA Cup, including one in the final that they lost to Coventry.
Mm. Anyway, it's not a Man City podcast, but he did do it in 150 games fewer than Arsene Wenger and 190 fewer games, 97 fewer games than Sir Alex Ferguson, the only other two people to get 1,000 goals for their clubs while at one club.
Mm.
Anyway, we're going to save your voice for a little bit and we'll
Good
move
luck
over
to him.
to Johnny. Oh, well, actually, let's give you that stat. I think you did actually say 2 shots on target rather than 3, and it was right. If I'm going to give you the actual stats, West Ham had 31%. You're a little bit off with your 20%, which meant that Man City had 69% possession. We had 6 shots, 2 on target, which I think you said. They had 16 shots,
Where are you
7
getting
on
this
target.
from?
BBC. We had 3
Well,
corners.
BBC
6
one
heads.
I'm looking at now says we had 1 shot on target.
It says 2. Have a look at BBC Football match report at the time.
Oh, let's argue about shots on target. That'll be a new low.
It says 2 here. I'll send you the
Yeah.
screenshot. Anyway, Johnny Boy,
Yes.
Man City,
They're good, aren't they?
masterclass. Yeah, they're quite good, aren't they?
I mean,
Yeah.
they made it look hard, or we made them work
Well,
hard.
Yeah, well,
for the
did you
first half.
ever think, right? And I know the answer to this. Did you ever think at half time, oh, we might be able to hold them?
I know,
No.
no,
Oh, okay.
but you know,
Didn't give you a
I thought
little bit of
we'd done
faith.
well to sort of hold them, and we worked hard and made them work hard. But yeah. So was it Flynn Downs gave away the free kick, wasn't it? Is that right? He went through, gave away the free
Can't
kick,
remember actually.
Yes, it was.
and then he sort of like was shaking his head as he walked away, and proved to be the pivotal point, and they scored, didn't they? Hackey up and high, but yeah, I mean, it was all right. It's kind of what we expected. What I said 4, didn't I?
You said 4-0, yeah.
Yeah. So you know,
It could have
it
been,
was
couldn't it? Let's be
it was
honest.
better than 3-0's better than 4-0. So
Yeah.
but, yeah,
Probably not a lot to say. We're going to save our time for United. Moving on to Canning Town Len. Illness was announced. Obviously, Declan Rice, Thomas Souček, and Nath Agur was pronounced ill. 2 of them had food poisoning. 1 of them had a virus. Did we lose the game because Thomas Souček didn't start then?
No, I think we would have.
No, answer the
I think
question.
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
Did it make any difference not having those 3 available at all?
Um, but it might have. You don't know. I think it might have been a brave loss if we would have had them. Um, so no harm done, really. Yeah.
Was it the best lineup that we could have hoped for? Really, I mean,
No, I don't remember we had that. I don't remember anything being
he started
that
Downs obviously and
controversial.
Paquetá. Um,
I mean,
obviously
if you were
Bowen started
Downs
instead of
and Rice
Benrahma,
and
and Antonio started because of it instead of Ings.
if Rice and Suchek didn't start and Downs wouldn't start, I mean, you'd be quite upset if you were Downs, wouldn't you? You start to ask questions.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, he put the team out, the best team out he could. Don't know if he did were injuries or not. I don't know.
Well, we lost Sufal on 61. He's a little bit of injury news. He's going to be out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Big loss. In came Ben Johnson. Did he do all right? A lot of people are saying he's not the real deal, maybe, that we thought he was.
So I got. Sorry, mate, I didn't hear what you said. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Ben Johnson
Yeah.
came on for Sufal, injured Sufal. Is he the real deal? Is he the player we thought he is? Did he do all right? I mean,
No.
it's against Man City, but I can't remember him making
I
a
mean, he done all right. How old is he now? He don't
20,
got.
20 something.
I don't think he's
He
earned a
hasn't
new
signed a new
contract now.
contract, and it looks like he's
I
not gonna.
don't think. Yeah, I
23, I
don't
think.
think.
23.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no race to it, is he? Let's be honest. So I
Yeah,
mean,
he's gone. He looks like he's gone a bit backwards, doesn't
he
he?
does look like he's gone a bit backwards.
yeah.
Which is, it's very sad.
Ings came on at 67. Len didn't seem really to change anything. Has Moyes worked out what he does now? Danny Ings, what kind of player he is?
I don't like to think so. I'd like to think so. Yeah, he's not the right player for us, is he? Let's be honest. Or any type of Moyes team, which
And
is makes you wonder.
uh,
You know,
and finally Benny came on for Boeing at 79, but it was all pretty well. I say it was all.
done
It
and
was. We were
dusted.
already 2-0 down
We
at
had
the
a good
time.
first half, though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We know when you got your back against the wall like that, uh, because the sole focus is defending, they're better at it. But to pull it off, you got to be completely immaculate, like we was in the next game.
Yeah. Well, obviously the naysayers came out afterwards and said, you know, oh, Moyes, we're doomed. We're doomed. We're going to go down. We're
I
going to
didn't
go
see
down.
any. I didn't see any of them.
There was some naysayers,
Blimey, they must
like
have
we
high
were ever going to win our
expectations.
game in hand. We were
Yeah,
ever going to win against.
Yeah,
And there were some crazy results that week as well, midweek,
weren't
weren't there?
there? Yeah, and
And
yesterday.
And yesterday,
yesterday.
yeah. I mean, what
Dickers.
was
It's
happened to
like,
Everton? But we'll talk about this a bit later. But it does seem to have settled it all now. So let's move on to Manchester United. Um, let's start with you, Nigel. You were there. Um, best atmosphere of the season, was it?
Well, that's nothing to write home about. But in that place, is
Was it
it
though?
really? I thought it was. Yeah, it was good.
I
It
did what
was.
you did because I didn't go because I had a street party, but at least I've paid for my. I got £46.50 for my seat, and Finley got 15 quid. So at least it's paid for our increase on
There you
our
go.
1-1 on club cash. But
Yeah. No, it was. It was a good atmosphere. Um, and it was a bit of a strange. I don't know the time, 7 o'clock on a Sunday. I can't ever remember playing at that time on a Sunday. Um, Perhaps the fan base was well lubricated. Um, there was a distinct, there was a less amount of empty seats than normal, so there was a good crowd in as well. And I just thought Man City, sorry, Man United did have half chances that they created, and they had the better of the opening 15, 20 minutes. But they
I didn't
didn't
see it
take
that way.
them.
But okay, fair enough.
No, they did. I think Rashford put one over the bar. I think they had a couple of breaks on us, but they didn't convert and they didn't get them on target either. And,
Well,
Fabianski, I don't
they
think,
hit the woodwork twice.
what, in the opening 10 minutes,
I don't
15
know. No,
minutes?
not the opening 10 minutes.
Right, okay. Shall I
Over the.
start again so you can listen to what I'm saying? Or
Oh, I can't tell with your croaky voice.
all right. Well, I just said they had a better of the opening.
Okay.
Uh, you said you didn't see it. I said, well, they had some good efforts. Then you went and hit the post twice. That wasn't in the opening minutes.
No.
So,
Okay. I thought they did in the first half, but I can't remember when it was.
well, so anyway, then West Ham got comfortably into the game. And I always find it difficult. A lot of people apparently can put their finger on why we played better against Man United than we did against other teams. Um, but only the players really know, in my opinion. I don't think there was much difference in the way we set up, in the tactics, but we didn't seem fatigued. To coin a word that's bandied about a lot at the moment, and considering at least half of that team had played Wednesday night. If you'd believe some of the fan base, they should have been running on empty, but they weren't. And I suppose it helps scoring first. It gives you something to hold on to. But if I'm going to sum up the game pretty quickly, we didn't nick that. In the past,
Hmm.
we've nicked 1-0. There's been the famous 1-0 win when we got relegated in 91. Kenny Brand Shinner, you know, and Fergie called our effort obscene. Um, yeah, this wasn't it. This was actually, we felt slightly aggrieved that it wasn't by a bigger scoreline because it should have been. I don't get the foul on. Um, he puts his arm out, but a 6'5" bloke should not just fall down because someone's put their arm across him.
Not
That's
especially the way things are at the moment now. They're
yeah,
supposedly letting more physicality go.
yeah. I think at times people forget football is a contact sport. Not all contact is a foul. That is the way of the game. And so more the Antonio one. Um, I've looked at it on Match of the Day a few times. Couldn't see why it weren't given. Um, Obviously, De Gea is going to come in for a lot of stick. I didn't realise how poor a goal it was until I did see it on Match
Yeah,
of the
I know.
Day. Because wow,
Well, it wasn't just that one mistake. If you've seen the replay,
yeah.
he made about three, maybe four
No,
mistakes in the
that's
whole game.
he had no command of his area. I
No.
thought at all. Yes, the Suchek header was he was offside, and I don't think it was marginal. So, um, though the fag went up and down bloody quick, I would say that. Um, but all in all, it was a thoroughly good game of football for a 1-0 game, and we were by far the deserved winners. It, there will always be people going, "Oh, why couldn't they done this at the end of the season?" No, let's just accept they do it. In the past, West Ham have had good finishes to the season, hence why my bold prediction was made with 10, 11 games to go that, it is not within, out of the bounds of realism to think West Ham could go past 40 points. Um, we've got 3 games left in the league. I think a Thursday night may define our season in a way. Really good performance there. I think we'll go into the Brentford game. It would be nice to get a win against Brentford, but it
Never beaten
sets
them,
it
have
up.
we?
Well,
Uh,
we have, but not in the Premier
In
League.
the Premier League.
There was football before the Premier League,
Yeah, of
Sean.
course. Little stat attack. West Ham had 35% possession against United. 65, obviously, is what the visitors had.
Well, West Ham only had 35% possession.
35%
And can I
possession.
just point out,
Yeah.
ain't it funny that I didn't see anyone complain
No, no, absolutely. It
about
didn't look like
possession?
that. We seemed to boss it. So they had 19 shots, 4 on target. We had 15 shots, 4 on target. So pretty even there. We had 6 corners to their 5. We had 4 fouls to their 9. The dirty little Northerners. Um, but yeah. I mean, it should have been 2 or 3-0, shouldn't it? Really. That was definitely. I think most people who are not of the Manchester United persuasion would say that definitely was a penalty.
Hmm.
Big club bias of why it weren't
Well,
looked.
I mean, in regards to penalty, I'll give my take on it, and it'll be good to hear others. In When I see it happen, I was actually going downstairs to the toilet because it was right bang on half time. So I was actually as close as I could get to the pitch, which is obviously still quite far away, but it was quite high up. So I was down at the bottom of the stairs all day long. When you see it bang like that,
Yeah,
penalty, you see his arm go out. You could see his arm go out. And then why don't VAR give it? Well, my theory is that while his arm goes out, the ball hits his hand. The ball don't hit his arm, the ball hits his hand. And his hand is in front of his chest. And I'm not defending the decision. That's the only
sounds
reason.
like you are though.
No, I'm saying that would be the only reason. And now the problem we get here is they could tell us. It's quite feasible that they could produce a list at like the end of the round of games after every game's been played, like Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, and say these are why the decisions were made, and it clears it up, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And then why you can see instead of having everything that follows it. I do think, but I can't see in that moment even the referee not to give it. He should have blown. Because there's a bit of me thinks if he gives it, VAR don't
yeah,
overrule it.
that's right.
And that's what I'm thinking. I think VAR, rightly or wrongly now, is being used. And I think this is the Howard Webb effect. Is they're not VAR's not refing the game now. The refs are refing the game. But I think the refs have forgot that. So the referees became too reliant on VAR to make a decision. So they let decisions go. But Howard Webb has come in and he said it at the start of the season. VAR should not ref games. VAR is a fallback for the ref. The ref still has to make the decision. So, like the penalty that we should have had the other week that we didn't get, um, then which was the handball against who was that against now?
Liverpool.
Against Liverpool, where if the ref had given it, VAR would have cancelled it. But because the ref didn't give it, VAR didn't go against the ref. And I think this is what we're now seeing filtering through as well. You can see it. We've had 3 penalty decisions in 4 games
yeah.
that none have gone our way. and
Big,
two of them.
big club biased.
Well, I don't know because Crystal Palace ain't a big club and they got the decision. So I'll,
I'd be surprised if that handball presented the way it was in the other box. It wasn't given. I would be massively surprised if like that was us and Man United were to get the penalty.
yeah, you know me. I'm not a conspiracy theory. I don't entertain them generally, but I am now coming round.
Yeah, well, I don't normally, but I'm
to-
like that thing you sent out that table where we've had
yeah,
-7, and it is looking ridiculous. We've had so many
yeah,
decisions recently. You just think, hold on a minute.
yeah,
I mean, did you see the penalty that Liverpool got against Fulham?
yeah.
And you sort of think, oh look, come on. And we know everyone wants Liverpool because they're Liverpool, but you know,
But that
it's
goes
good.
back to what I said, where football's a contact sport. Not all contact is a foul, and not all fouls in the penalty in the area, or not all contact in a penalty area. A player goes down should result in a penalty. That should not result. The bloke was running across the penalty box in the far corner, and it was a complete accident. Obviously, he didn't see him running across him, and he kicks him. But well, he don't kick him though, does he? He
No,
brushes him,
barely, yeah.
and it's a poor decision. But you know why is it always Liverpool and these clubs that get these decisions? No one will ever answer, and this is the problem I find. Let's come out and hear them.
Yeah.
Going to be actually. It's turned out that it's let's assume that it is corruption, right? I'm not saying it is because it's a long way to go to prove that. But if it is, the ironic thing about it is the VAR will be helping it rather than because all you
Mm,
got to do is not give it, let it go to the VAR, and then them not overturn it. Whereas before, a referee had to make a decision. No, he don't seem to,
Yeah.
and you can
VAR,
see
you're
them
right.
turn.
It can be used to
Yeah,
cause an effect, can't it?
yeah, of
That's what
course
you're
it can
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
because you can see what I mean when you're watching it on TV now. He's not giving it, and the players then won't you give it. So they'll check it, they'll check it. But what he's done is kick the can down the road,
Anyway,
and
we
yeah,
just stay positive. We didn't need it because we won, right? Through, as I think Nigel said earlier, we, games like that maybe you would have lost at the end, etc. But decisions go against us. But the sloppy mistake by De Gea stood. That goal stood, and we got all 3 points, and we won. So
yeah.
let's go back to you, John. Did you enjoy it, or was it a little bit of a nervous, especially
Um,
with 8 minutes of injury time at the end?
I it was enjoyable. It was a good, it was a good performance. There was some outstanding performances. I mean, I thought Paqueta was really starting to grow into it. Rice was good again, and but yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a good game.
Do you put that win down to David Moyes mostly?
Yeah, of course I do. Tony. I mean, and you won't hear me moan about possession anymore because if you've got David Moyes in charge, you got to understand that he gives up possession and tries to play on the
Yeah,
counter,
of course.
and that's it. That's why people probably don't complain about it anymore. But it was a little whisper at the beginning of the season that we were going to change to a more possession based team, and
Yeah,
you know,
never
but
happened.
it didn't happen. But yeah, it was an enjoyable game. It was. There was that little bit of you sort of sitting on the edge of your seat towards the end of it,
Yeah.
expecting it not to go our way.
We
But
just thought it's so
Yeah,
West Ham that we conceded.
yeah, you
People
just
were
like
just,
you kind of like. But then you also think if we hold on to this, and that's kind of it. It'd be good to be able to go into the semi-final on Thursday, feeling a bit more
win on a
relieved
win on
about things.
37 points. I mean, just quickly, and we're coming to Len. I mean, we should be safe on 37 now. I mean, Southampton are down. Leeds and Leicester on 30 points. They're 7 points away from us. 8 really, because our goal difference is worth another point. They've got to win all their last 3 games, both of them, and both of them are playing us. If they just draw one game, the best they can get is 7, which won't probably be enough because we're on 38. So, you know, they've got to have both of those clubs got to have a miracle. It looks like Everton have pulled out a miracle and will survive, but I'm sure you'll be glad when we come back to you, Nigel, that Big Sam will be taking Leeds down. It looks like.
Um, well, yes, it was. I got asked a question when Sam took over Leeds, and I did answer that my goals for the season have now changed.
you want Sam to
Um,
you want to
so
relegate?
my third goal would be to stay up. My second goal would be to win the Europa Conference, and my main goal now this season is
Oh
to
my
relegate that
God.
fat, useless fucking twat.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's not a Big
Ah,
Sam podcast. John Savers, come back. Go on.
Oh
Anything you
no,
want to say
there's
about the
no,
game?
nothing. Yeah, it was a great win
Yeah.
over
It
to
is,
Len.
and I'm really upset I couldn't be there. And it's games like
The
that.
atmosphere came across well
It
as
did.
well.
It did.
So yeah,
Len,
yeah.
did you enjoy your day out? Do you want to share where you were?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Nigel for kindly inviting me to sit next to him rather than my usual seat. It was great. It was probably the best night I had down there, thanks to Nigel's company.
There you go.
And a
And
great
we
game,
got
of
a big
course, it
announcement.
helped.
Da, 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 da.
No, we don't have an
Da, da,
announcement.
da,
Oh,
da.
Shut up.
no, we don't have an
All right,
announcement.
no, we don't yet. Maybe next week. Yeah. Don't reveal how sausages are made, do we, Len?
Well, you have a good go, don't you, eh?
I do.
You fry 'em in
Anyway,
front of everyone.
Len, did you enjoy Up in the Gods
you
watching
fry
that?
him in front of everyone.
I d Yeah, it weren't too bad. I mean, you know,
Did you join in with the
I
national anthem, by the way?
don't remember that bit.
I did. We were there. I did
Yeah,
sing it.
Did you see
yeah,
the
I must have. Yeah,
The boys,
Did you see the cup boys come out with
yeah,
the
they
cup?
were right in front of.
No. Did the youth team come out?
Yeah, did you not see that? I'll send you a picture.
No. Well, you wouldn't have seen it because you weren't
No,
there.
no, no. But Carmel sent me a picture of them right in front of our stand.
Oh.
Uh,
No, we did only get into.
Of course you did.
Well, we was in before kick-off, so that's all that counts, isn't it?
Oh.
Left the
yeah,
supporters club, and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I know someone was a photo shoot today. They've just messaged me. More of this later.
Oh,
Um,
was it George Paris?
I'm not saying.
Oh, right.
Why'd you say that?
That would be the one, then, wouldn't it, Sean? What we were talking about?
Yeah,
That'll be the one.
I can't.
That'll be the one.
I can't reveal my source.
All right, okay.
Um,
When we get that bit, I'll tell you my source, Sean, just so
right.
you know. You're gonna love this one.
Len,
Hello.
apart from being next to Nigel and
Yeah,
sitting down in the West Stand and enjoying
yeah.
it, what anything to take away from the game that's not
Probably the
already
best.
been said?
Probably the best we played this season. Wouldn't you agree?
We
Yeah.
seem to go for it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot more of the play from up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, much more than we usually see. You know, they did really well. Yeah,
Well, you know what
yeah,
the
really good.
naysayers
So many
say
players so
for the
well
game.
played too.
The
Go
na-
on.
the Moyes naysayers. Well, I don't know if you saw the tunnel cam footage, but the tunnel cam footage showed Mark Nolan and his son. Who's his son? Is it
I
Lenny?
saw it.
Who's
Lenny.
Mark Nolan?
Mark Noble. Did I
He's
say
Oh, okay.
Nolan? Noble.
Mark Nolan did the tunnel fan footage rather than the tunnel cam and Mark Noble doing it.
Yeah.
But you know, you done well there, Sean.
Yeah, Mark Noble and his son Lenny were geeing on all the players, and of course the naysayers would say it was more of Noble's turned this around by sort of geeing up the team and showing a bit of support in his role as director, sports director.
Really?
Which
what
is a good link to our first news story, I
is
guess.
that what the naysayers say? Is it, Sean?
That's what the naysayers say.
It's
So the news
also
is
says from what people say on
the
various
news is
groups.
through sources close to the club, not senior source and not, but close to the club, is that the board hierarchy have lost faith in both David Moyes and Rob Newman transfer identification and targeting, and that the board want a bigger control of the money in the summer, if not complete control, and that they want to bring in a director of football to lead this, which won't be Mark Noble. There is a bit of a Mark Noble has a varied role. While it includes the recruitment, it includes player care and being the go-between the board and etc. and the academy and all these things. So, but where that leaves Rob Newman, I don't know. Could he work under that structure, or does that mean he's gone? And with Moyes, although obviously he would have a right to veto at the end, would Moyes' pride allow him to survive, see out his last year of his contract, if effectively he was moved away from transfer, target identification, and basically just had a final veto? Um, that's been followed up today in the Daily Telegraph by Matt Law, who knows a lot of stuff, and saying, you know, a decision hasn't been made by with David Moyes, and if we win the Europa Conference League, then he could very well stay for the final year. Discuss. Start with you, John. Get a bit of contentious stuff out of the way. What do you think to that? Do you think?
Well, it's just the same old shit, isn't it? Really. So you know, was it probably 4 or 5 weeks ago? There was senior sources were saying that whatever happens, that we'll be parting ways with Moyes in the summer, and there
No,
will
no, no.
be
That wasn't. They were
changes.
reports that were rubbish that saying we're going to dispense with Moyes. It was always we're going to have an end of season meeting like we always do, and a decision won't be made by then. It was the types of Talk Sport and Alex Crook and people in other media that were saying he was going to leave by mutual agreement.
But he was going to leave in the summer.
Yeah, but again,
A
not.
connection with Jim White and his senior
No, Jim
source.
White
Yeah,
wasn't saying that. Jim White
was
wasn't
he not?
saying that. No, it's some other less known journalists that were claiming that. In
Well,
fact, it was mostly Alex Crook, Talk Sport, which everyone seemed to pick up and follow because it was a bit of
well,
content to
I
recycle.
personally, I don't think that our signings this summer have all been failures or have been poor. I just think that the systems and whatever Moyes tried and changed around, it just hasn't worked. Whether that be for him tactically or him personally dealing with these characters or whatever, for whatever reason. But you know, he's he's not been able to deal with some of these players and got them to or get them playing. But I don't see, you know, realistically, out of all the signings, who's been a failure? Who looks to you like they're not good enough? I don't really think any of them don't look like they're good enough. So for him to say that he's lost faith in the transfer, but is willing to back the manager for another year, it just smacks of.
Yeah, is this a bit of undermining, knowing
Yeah,
he's
it's
not going to
just
hide? Who knows? Is it a game?
if he's seriously saying this and it's from the horse's mouth and this is what Moyes is going to be confronted with, then you know, I think someone said somewhere, couldn't Moyes go for constructive
Well, it depends what his
dismissal
contract says. If the
dismissal
contract
on
just says
based on
he's
that?
got final veto, he's not going to lose that. Does his contract say that he has to identify and be in charge of all the transfers? It's unlikely to say that, you know. So it really will come down to what his contract said. Let's move on to Lenny boy, director
Hello.
of football, sports director of
Do you
football. You
know?
wait a lifetime for a director of
I
something
don't
else,
know
and then
what
you
they
get to
are.
come along.
Don't know what they are.
No, not nor does anyone else. We'll have a head of recruitment, a director of football, a director of sports,
And
director of
Sullivan,
dominoes.
I don't know what they are. What do you want me to say about it? Or I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Does
He changes every week stories like this. Um,
Who's the bad signings, Len?
I don't know. That's what I'm. I mean,
well
Ings, yeah.
Skamaka? Come on, Skamaka
Well,
Well,
hasn't worked out, and I know
Skamaka
people will
started all
say
right and then sort of got
t-
injured and then didn't get back in the team. And
people will say PSG wanted him. We nicked him under the
tell me
noses
a
of PSG.
striker that's worked out with Moyes. Tell me one.
A Gers, all right, isn't he?
I
No, he's not a
guess
striker, Sean.
Oh, striker, did you say? Sorry, I missed that. Um, Marko Nautovic, who wasn't a striker to begin with.
Yeah, one a striker. This is it.
I can't think
What's
of
the
one.
question? Are you asking me? Oh, I was asking you a question.
No,
With
well, yeah, you were asking me a question, but the main
there
point
isn't one.
was
There isn't one. And
who's at fault for transfers? Will bringing in a director of
you can
football
look. You
change things?
can't say that. I remember David Kelly being the only. Us being the only team who didn't score. You can't. I don't think you can always blame people for transfers. Sometimes things don't work out, and it work the other way. Sometimes you can have what appears to be a dodgy transfer, i.e. Dawson, and it does work out. You got to take the rough with the smooth. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Nigel, you finally.
Yeah.
Is it going to solve anything, or is it actually David Moyes just doesn't know how to play
Is it
the
going to
transfers
solve?
we signed?
No, I think there's credence in that we brought in a lot of players. It's see, this is the thing. You hear a lot of noise around. Moyes has got to go. We've done shit. Well, yeah, but we've been shit in the past. Yeah, but not spending 200 million, and that is a big stick that's used by a lot of people to beat him with. But when we bear it down, firstly, we signed 8, 9 players for that 200 million. So that's not a lot of money for an amount of players. But we lost a lot of players at the end of last season that left. I don't that we didn't sell that left because contracts were up. And typical West Ham, we never make a profit. I can't remember the last time we made profit in a transfer. Well, I can actually. It was Moyes' first transfer window, but he sold Payet and brought in the stupid geezer from Preston who went bubbles. Um,
You go.
yeah, Hugo. So that
Uh,
perhaps the warning was there with Moyes and buying things. Yeah, that he bought Hugo and oh, God knows whatever happened to him. He went to Norwich and around a few other clubs, still going around having a career in football without scoring goals. Um, then, if you, as I say, you look at it on the face of it, Skamaka has obviously not worked. Not and as Len rightly said, David Kelly was wanted by Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and I kid you not, he chose West Ham over those two clubs, and yet David Kelly was slaughtered for his performances. Bambi, I think, was one of the nicknames given to him, if I'm right. Um, and in regards the way his legs moved. And yet, when you look at it, I think in that first season, I think he scored off the top of my head. I think it was 14 goals, 12 or 14, which nowadays would be an average return. In fact, West Ham would like a fly striker this season to hit that target. Yet, we got relegated. Him and Alan McKnight were the two players blamed, and who were both the new players that were brought in. Um,
Alan
at the end of the
McNightmare.
yeah, there you go. That says it all, wouldn't it? So Northern Ireland International had won the title with Celtic, I believe. And he comes to us. Yeah, he has some bad games, but I think he was badly affected by the crowd turning on him. Um, but then if you look at the other signings, Gerd, Downs, Paqueta, they're not wasting money, are they?
I don't think Cornet will be either.
No, Cornet is hard to judge. So out of all the signings he made, there's that Brazilian who we've not heard of. I don't know how much money we paid for him. Not a lot. He's a defender. Was he about 20? I've not heard from him again. I think he was the ninth signing. I mean, Danny Ings at 12 million. At the time, we all thought this is good. Obviously, Danny Ings ain't a bad striker. It's just not
Yeah.
working.
We just didn't know that Moyes didn't know where to play him.
Well, and this is the strange thing. This is where my problem's always been with Moyes, and I've said it often enough. It ain't what he does; it's what he says. Because what he says is baffling.
Yeah, I know.
And I got a feeling, and I got a funny feeling. Moyes don't like dealing with the press. I don't think he likes doing press conferences, and sometimes I think he just says things because he can't be bothered to deal with them. So he'll just say anything.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
And I think with the way it is nowadays is, years ago the managers didn't have to do a press conference before the game and a press conference after the game. Or it's not one now, is it? It turns out they've got to do 3 or 4 press conferences because they've got to do radio, they've got to do TV, they've got to do club in
Yeah,
house.
it's all contractual.
And this is the thing, and I just think that's too much. Just let them fucking manage.
Do you honestly think? Because I know we've had discussions over this season about him, Skamaka. Do you genuinely think that if he stayed and was supported or whatever, there's not a player there? Do you think?
No, I don't think he's cut out. It's not a thing. I don't think he's cut out for English football. If you go back to the start of the season, I told the story about Tony, the cafe owner at George's in Leytonstone, who's Italian and knows his Italian football, and his first thing when West Ham signed Skamaka was, ooh, he ain't that great. He ain't a 40-odd million pound player.
What did
Now,
we pay for him?
42, I believe.
Was it?
Now, what you could then look at is who set the price, who did the deal, who paid the money. So,
But did we not see some of the goals he scored early on and think, hold on a minute, we've got a striker here?
but Marco Buga scored goals for, I think it was Heracles or something in Holland, or Sparta Rotterdam, I think.
No, but for us, he started off, he scored a few early on, and
Oh,
we thought, hold on
he
a
did.
minute.
I'll tell you what, if you look, I bet you he scored most of his goals in Denmark. I do remember at the time saying, I think he should go and join the Danish league because I think he'd do very well there. Against Viborg and Silkeborg.
Yeah, how many's he scored? Do you know?
Is it? I think he's got 8 this season
In all comps.
in all comps. But most of that, I think, or at least half of that, come in Europa.
Yeah.
Cool.
He has got, you can see flashes of things. But Italians, young Italians, I don't
Will
think
he
are
still
great
be here though?
travellers.
Is he going to
No,
play under Moyes?
I don't
He's not
think.
going to be here, is he, next
And
season?
look,
What
But
would
I
we
think
get for
he's
him?
made the decision. I don't think the club has.
yeah, I'll go a step further, and I'm not going to name them, but I understand. And look, this is not senior source, but this is people in the industry have said that there are at least 3 players, West Ham players, senior players, who do not want to play for David Moyes next season if he's still the manager. Now,
Yeah,
whether
but I
that
think
will
that
go, hang on,
geezer
let me finish, and then you
is
can say something.
talking absolute bollocks.
Right? Well, you know the person who the source is, so
Yeah.
you know, and yes, they've got skin in the game, but whether that means that they put in a transfer, he never said they put in a transfer request,
Look,
but they will ask for a move, and if the valuation is met, they will go. Now, we'll see on that. I'm not going to
is
name
this not
them.
the same man that went fucking crying? Yeah, to
Look,
other
as I
people. This
said,
man won't talk to me.
let's
Come
not
on,
reveal how
Sean.
sausages are made. And I
I
know
haven't
that,
named. Have I? I haven't said who it is. I haven't said who he went crying to. But
yeah.
this is what I'm telling you. Please don't hang your rat on what
No,
that
I
man
won't.
says.
But do you know what? He's got a lot of stuff right over the years that he's told me. You know, when he told me, right, that who was the other striker who left us that before
Hello.
Allaire. He told me Allaire we'd been ripped off and it would end in tears. He said the same about Skamaka before we'd even purchased Skamaka. You know, and he's told me a few other things. And at the time, I've gone, yeah, right. Um, and he's been spot on. So ignore him at your peril, Nigel. Ignore him at your peril. But I'm not going to name the three players because I don't think it'll be fair. But let's see. Let's see if it comes to fruition. Can we move on and talk about? Well, let's talk about a little bit of injury news. So I said Sufau is out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Skamaka club are still surprised that they haven't heard from him. He's not back training. The big news is Zuma is ahead of schedule. We think he may have trained lightly today. He's not ready for full training. He's telling people he wants to be back before the end of the season. And I would never bet against him. So he could be training as early as next week on grass. And good luck to him. Good luck to him if he does come back. You know, Bonner, you mentioned earlier, and you know, had a poor game against City. What did you think of him against United, Nigel? Oh, he's muted himself. All right, John, what do you think
Oh,
about
sorry.
Bonner?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on, Nigel.
I didn't even hear the question.
What did you think of Ogbonna against United?
No, I think Ogbonna's a fantastic defender. Um, I think he's still worthy of a place in the West Ham squad, even for next season. I think his performances belie his age, in a way.
Hmm.
Um, you know, every defender's going to make mistakes. A Gerd's made mistakes, and he's
Yeah,
10
yeah,
years younger
definitely.
than him. You know,
Yeah,
so let's not hang our rat in. Yes, Ogbonna was at fault. What he was, he dropped too deep. But generally, the first half performance against Man City, he was our best defender.
yeah.
So
We know Cornet had a virus too, but he should be fit. So hopefully, no more. Apart from Zuma coming back and Skamaka out for the season, we're not expecting any more injury. Well, and sorry, Sufal being out for 2 to 3 weeks. Should we talk about kit? There was a
Not really.
well, let's just say there was a launch today. It was a media launch at the Carpenter's pub between 12 o'clock and I think 4 o'clock. It was a 4-hour shoot. There were 5 current players.
I don't think it was a media launch, Sean.
Well, sorry, not a media launch.
I
A
think it was a
filming
secret
session,
photo shoot.
a secret photo shoot and
Yeah,
video shoot.
that
Yeah,
isn't actually quite a secret.
it wasn't a secret. Yeah, so it was at the Carpenter's pub. Now it included 5 current players, not including Declan Rice. I'll say that again, not including Declan Rice. Declan Rice is not being used in any of the photo shoots for the new kit. I wonder why. Four legends. We're not going to name them.
You just have to look all over social media to know why.
Two ladies.
Why aren't we going to name the legends?
Well, because we're not going to name them.
So can we not go guess the legend? So my guess would be George Paris. I think that's my first guess.
Stop. 2 ladies and a number of supporters as well from Any Old Irons and the Disabled Supporters Board were there also today. I've been told.
I hope they were over 66 and that the 65-year-olds were told to wait outside.
I've been told. No, I'm here. I'm getting my source. Someone who was there today. They tell me. I know X has given an explanation, but I'm telling you what I've been told. I know everyone was told that they had a box to put everybody's cameras in and everyone's phones, so no one was allowed to take any pictures.
They needed Nigel's special glasses. That's what he needed.
Yeah.
It is Clara with a blue trim and bubbles on the shirt. I was told like the 1995 bubbles where it's in the broidery. It's got no collar.
Who told you that, Sean?
A source.
Oh, right. What, the bubbles on the shirt was like the 1995 shirt?
Yeah.
What, the source told you that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, are they wrong then when they said that?
No, I thought that was me on the
No,
phone.
no, 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 no. It's just left me a voice note while I've been on air.
Oh, so
So
he's left
you
the voice
saying
note on
that
air.
you're
2 hours
spot
of
on.
fucking go, I told you.
I
Oh,
know
so
that, but
what the
the
fuck?
source has actually
Oh,
said
right.
that. I don't. He
Oh,
obviously
right.
doesn't know what you said, but you're right.
Right.
No
You're
collar.
right. Well, you're
Yeah,
right,
well,
Nigel.
fucking hell, yeah.
So well done, Nigel. You were right.
And
You
I was
guessed it
right
right.
about the Carpenter's pub.
You were about the Cottons pub. You just didn't get the right date. You said next Tuesday.
Well, technically, from when I said it, it was next Tuesday.
And the new shirt has a new sponsor on the arm, JD Sports. Yeah, it's
Wow.
exclusive.
Woohoo.
JD Sports, I'm being told, is the new sponsor on the sleeve sponsor.
They're not owned by Wigan anymore, are they, JD Sports?
Well, you know who JD Sports was on the arm of?
No.
Southampton.
Southampton. Yes,
Oh,
well
was
done,
it?
Johnny.
Oh. John's been listening.
I know. Look,
He wrote it somewhere, didn't he, today?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I played it out in the van.
Pete,
On
Do you want to know who
WhatsApp.
my sauce was, Sean?
go on. What is your sauce?
My sauce, because I told you yesterday. My sauce was my wife, Sam.
No.
Yep.
How did
And
she
what
know
she
that?
has said was, she don't need to be in no circle of trust. Anytime you want to throw her a fiver, she'd be more than happy, and she'll tell you what she knows.
What did she? How did she know about the Carpenters?
And she never reveals her sauce.
Well, funny you should say that because as soon as I get off here, I'm ringing someone that was there today who's just, I was asking a question, not the source that told me all about this, but
No.
another question. And the bloke went, "Well, I was there." So I went, "All right, I'll ring you after the podcast
No.
to find out a little bit." And look, I know some people don't get excited about this, but some people
No.
do. You don't care at all, do you?
Well, the only thing that bothers me is I think we've been told that they've got Clarence Schultz next season.
Oh no, I don't like that. It might
No.
as well be like we're playing Luton Town.
So, but the only hope I've got is that if the away kit description being all white, if we get to the final, I think we're the designated away team. So,
Oh no.
We've got to wear that orange thing.
So well,
We might have a new kit by then.
right now, this is the thing. The good news is obviously we're keeping the same kit manufacturer, so
Yeah.
they may be happy to allow us to wear a new kit. Now, West Ham United world, all gripped by this, there is a precedent that's been set that in 1976, when West Ham reached the European Cup Winners' Cup final, the last European final we were in, people,
Right.
we wore a brand new shirt that had never been worn before. And it had not been worn that season at all in the final. So the precedent's been set.
Sean, why don't you put your phone on silent?
Not me.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
mine.
I am on silent.
I'm doing it right now, John. I'm so busy, and everyone wants to talk about West Ham. I'm just trying to turn it off. I'm sorry. I thought I'd
Just going on. So X explained it as claret body and light blue arms. I'm not. Some people have said not light blue arms. Claret band on each arm. The shirt is said to be similar to the 2001-2003 home one, and not like the 1984 Ruben one before. My source description slightly is different. The away kit is said to be all white, and the third kit is supposed to be ocean blue colour. Is that because they always like it to be worn with jeans, Nigel?
well,
I don't know.
Jeans, would it?
I think Ocean Blue was the local chip shop to me on the Barking Road. 2 doors down from Hellier's, the printers that used to print the West Ham. So whether they got the idea from that, I don't know.
And we think it's going to be the launch days for the home kits on Saturday, don't we?
I will
Yeah,
ask
I think
my
they're
source and
released.
find out.
Yeah, there you go.
What's Ocean Blue? And I'm an artist. I don't know what Ocean Blue is.
It's a chip shop on the Barking Road. It's just along from Charlie's Wine
It's
Bar.
the same colour as
by
the
Hellier's
ocean.
Printers.
It's
Corner
like
Star Lane.
a sea blue colour.
Uh, I could go through a lot of blues I've got right in front of me.
Ocean
None of them
blue.
are
Your
ocean.
description, Sean, of the ocean blue is
I know.
sea coloured.
I know.
Like the colour of the ocean.
Yeah.
Fucking no shit, Sherlock.
Anyway, moving on from kits. Obviously, Declan Rice has made the news again. Well, one, he's been playing off his socks, and of course been doing the video of giving his shirt to a boy that cried in the times where other players have just been walking past it. It seems a bit of a media setup, but maybe that's being me cynical. And today there's been a story by Sky going, West Ham won't let him go for anything under 120 million.
Is
And
that have the club had anything to do with that figure flying
I
around
think
today?
so, yeah. I mean, I haven't talked to anyone about that, but it's got all the hallmarks of a certain person leaking it. Look, Arsenal aren't going to pay 120 million. But what I've been told is, look, there is no, a few days ago, there is no uncertainty. He will be going in the summer, I'm told. His father said he wants Champions League football. So the bit that didn't work in the Sky News report today is they mentioned Chelsea and Liverpool. Well, Chelsea certainly aren't getting Champions League football next season, and Liverpool are very doubtful as it stands. So
Oh, I'm
really,
sure
that
VAR would try its best for Liverpool.
I know. So that really just leaves, Newcastle, Man City, Man United, and Arsenal. And it really will depend whether Arsenal are prepared to pay. They don't really like paying the. I forget who was on the
They
saying
paid
today. Michael Keown or someone like that was saying, Arsenal don't pay that kind of money, and I
they
don't.
paid 70 or 80 million for a winger, didn't they? Not long ago.
We'll see.
What was
We'll
his
see.
name?
Look, I
Who
think
did he play for?
who
Who?
Michael Keown.
Um,
Martin Keown. All
You're
Oh,
right.
having a stinker, Sean.
I
Even
know.
by your standards, it's going
Oh,
bad.
leave me alone. Anyway,
oh,
any other news we've missed? Is there any other
played
news this
played
week?
off his socks. No, that
have
was
you ever
nice.
cried meeting a footballer?
No. Are you saying it was all a bit of a setup?
No. I don't know. I've just never cried. Even as meeting Trevor Brooking as a kid, or meeting Billy Bonds, never cried. I met John Lyle. I
Yeah.
didn't cry. I
Oh,
don't know.
two other small stories that were covered on 6'2" today. FA to demand UEFA safety assurances for West Ham if they get in the
Oh yeah.
final
Mm.
because of the slow. I don't know. And a little story from your friend John Joe. He's looking for home for 300 bricks,
Yeah.
and he's looking for that if he can't. He's obviously his dad has gone. He's at university, bless him, in his final year. He's 21 years old now, and his dad and mum have obviously gone. Get rid of those fucking bricks out of our
Well,
garden. They're
I
shitty
have
years.
actually messaged him today. I don't know if you want to give him a nudge.
Go on.
And offered like I'm willing to buy them and put them in the museum.
Well, I'm sure. So what the talk is, and this is this evening, and of taking those front plates off and keeping them separate, and then selling the bricks underneath for
No, no.
charity.
See, if I want them, it's the front plates, and I would have them built into a wall.
Okay, well, why don't you talk to him? I reckon
Well, I
his mum and.
messaged him, but I've not had a reply.
All right, I'll give you a number for his dad, maybe.
Well, you're good. You can ask.
It'd be hard to separate. You'd have to wet wheel cut them.
Oh
Yeah.
look, we know who the players are now.
Yeah, John Monker, George Paris.
No, I was talking about the current players.
Oh right,
Thank you.
Oh, I
sorry.
didn't know that.
Bowen,
So I put it on Twitter.
Pablo Fornals, Flynn Downs,
Lindans. Is
Cornet,
that his mum?
Ben Johnson. It looks like Areola, actually.
Yep, he was there.
Yeah? All right,
You
go on
don't-
then. Say who the legends were then. The Carpenters Arms have published this on their Twitter, haven't they?
Who are
On
you
their-
talking about? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking
That's
to you.
Cornet,
I don't know who they are.
You
I
said
want
you knew
Johnson.
who the legends were.
Areola.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't say that.
Well, all the current ones have just been published by the Carpenters Arms themselves. We had a few visitors today. Thanks for stopping thanks for stopping by, lads, and big shout to everyone's favourite auntie,
The only
Gemma.
thing about that pub is, right, those that know, yeah, I'm not being funny. That was a flea pit of a pub.
Yeah. I hope
Right,
they
that
rubbed their feet
estate,
on the way
that
out.
Carpenter's estate. I know the people there. They had Russell Brand down to help 'em save it. It should have been bulldozed years ago. It was proper filth. The Carpenter's estate. It was a mugger's paradise, and when we first went there, a few stragglers that used to walk back to the station down to Stratford High Street, copped her. The old muggers would hang about till the big crowds had gone and pick a few of the stragglers off. Um, it was a proper gang trouble there, and that pub literally, how it survived. The West Ham turning up was like a godsend to that gaff because that should have been bulldozed as well. When you think some of the really good boozers that have gone by the way,
Yeah.
there used to be the one I used to go in further down. I think it was the Yorkshire Grey, which was on the bridge Stratford High Street, and I think it was the Green Man. Um, Might have had the strippers in the Green Man actually. I think it was the Green Man, but on the corner of Carpenter's Road, they were far better pubs than that. That you know than that
Yeah.
pub. But still, hey ho.
Any other news before we finish this episode?
Look, I can't be bothered to write an article today because I don't feel well and I've had a busy day.
Yeah.
But today's a
You had a
very special
COVID
day.
test?
I did, and it's negative. I've had
Oh, well.
3, so because I didn't believe the first 2. Um, Today's the anniversary of what I class as the most West Ham goal ever scored in the history of the club.
Oh, yeah. I saw you post it. I
I was
forgot all
away at
about
Wigan.
that.
I was up there. We're playing Wigan. It's 2004. We're in the playoffs positions. We can't get automatic promotion, and we can't fall out. And we're losing 1-0 to Wigan. And Wigan had never ever been in the playoffs before in the Championship. This might have been their first season or second season in the Championship. This is the highest they're going to finish. And the Tannoy announcer put it out. Don't leave the ground. Oh, I'll set the scene. West Ham are losing 1-0, by the way. Don't leave the ground. We're going to celebrate our highest ever finish at the end of the season and get ready for the playoffs. Me and my mate are thinking, shit, we got to come here for the playoffs because we were going to be playing Wigan in the playoffs. With the final kick of the game, Michael Carrick crosses the ball from a free kick, and Brian Dean, who we'd signed, I think, in January, I don't know if you've been there all season, rose from 3 yards out, heads it home. We draw 1-1. Total pointless goal for West Ham. Didn't change our position whatsoever. But what it did was it took 2 points off Wigan. Palace had scored a late goal. Wigan fell out of the playoffs. Palace took their place. That meant that Ipswich, who were originally sitting in 6th spot, got pushed to 5th. So we then had to face Ipswich in the 2 playoff semi-finals. Palace had to play 3rd place Sunderland, who they beat unbelievably. But of course it meant we then faced Crystal Palace in the playoffs. Palace now, we know, Shipley beat us 1-0. We were poor that day. Palace were bottom at Christmas, sacked their manager, appointed Ian Dowie. They'd gone into the Premier League. We didn't go up. All because of that last minute goal. That is the West Ham way, people. If you ever want a definition of the West Ham way in a goal, there it is. Because it will always come and fuck you in the end.
Anyway, with that, predictions. By the way, Nigel,
Yeah.
did you put the hammer sign on the golden throne for the coronation? Was that you as a choir boy when you were in the
What?
Westminster Abbey choir as a sort of...
No, I was choir boy at St. Sed's.
Was that real? I just thought that was
So-
funny.
No, it is, but it wasn't a West Ham. It was real. it's a bit of graffiti that dates back to like 18 or
No,
1900.
no. You got to remember this chair is 600 years old, and apparently it was traditional that people would carve into it.
Yeah,
So there's loads of names that have been carved by people from 400-500 years
correct.
ago.
But also in the war and First World War,
Yeah.
etc. And there was it was left unguarded, and schoolboys used to graffiti it. So who knows? But well spotted. Anyway, predictions. We've got two games. We've got our semi-final, and then we've got I'm trying to think. What is the next?
Brentford Sunday.
Brentford away. Thank you, Nigel. Let's start with you then.
I'll be at both.
Oh, you got Brentford.
Yep. So AZ Alkmaar, tough one. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I'll go 1-0 West Ham.
Oh, really?
John?
Yeah, I thought it won't be easy, will it? I'll go 2-1 West Ham.
Oh, and Brentford?
Brentford, we'll lose 2-1.
Oh, Len?
I think we'll get a draw against Alkmaar. I think it'll be a tough game for us.
You miserable bastards!
No, it might be enough. Look, there's nothing conclusive Thursday.
Well, am I the only optimistic ones? I think we'll be 3-0 up in the semi-final on the home leg, and I think we'll win 1-0 and break our duck against Brentford away and win for the first time against them. And 46 points is back on.
In the Premier League, Sean.
In the Premier League, fuck you.
Hold up.
Oh.
When was the last time we beat Brentford away?
I know the answer because I was there.
Go on.
I think it was 93, wasn't it? Was it Martin Allen winner?
Well, that's in the league. But do you not remember January in the FA Cup?
Right, of course we did, yeah. We beat them in the
Man
Cup.
City are losing, I see.
Yeah, I know. This is going... There's going to be a red card in this game.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, time to say goodbye so John can watch the game because he can't in his out Hebrides he can't watch a game and podcast at the same time because the internet bandwidth Starlink. John has been
trying to get to watch the game.
Len has been
barely doing a podcast really. I just keep forgetting we're doing it.
Nigel has been
sore throat.
And I've been here. Come on, you irons.
Bobby Moore.
Back
More than just a podcast.
If we can be asked.
Bobby Moore. More than
Which
just
we
a
can.
podcast.